So what if in my project I wanted to embed a table that showed the different monthly payments that I would pay for a loan that was spread out over 3 years, 4 years, and 5 years. Also given three different credit tier ratings. So let's say excellent credit gives you a 4% loan, good credit gives you a 5.25% loan, or 6.5% is poor uh, uh, APR for poor credit rating. We could highlight three columns and right click and maybe increase the column width up here to about 15 to make it quite a bit wider, and maybe select about 5 or 6 rows, maybe 8, and increase those um, row heights as well to maybe 25 so that these cells will look a lot bigger. I'm just going to be working sort of in this area. Let's say that on the top row, we're going to type, remember the low credit rating was 4%. So I'm just typing 4%. And I'll scroll over to the next one, which is 5.25%. And the next one, which is 6.5%. And if I want all the values in my cells to be center justified, I'm going to click that center justified. Below this, I'm going to type the decimal form of each of these percents: 0.04, 0.0525, and I do have to cursor to the right, 0.065. And that's because I'm going to want to access, I want those values to either be accessed in a chart potentially, or be somehow be referenced for someone who's looking at this and understanding the values that go into the formulas. Here I'm going to type 3, 4, and 5 in this first column. I'm also going to center justify those. Those are going to be the years. So if I click in this first cell, here's where I want to show the borrowing of $30,000 at 4% annual interest. It's going to be compounded monthly, but over 3 years. If I want, I can put the P equals $30,000 so that I know that that's true for all these computations, and N equals 12 to imply compounded monthly. Okay, so in this cell, I'm going to click the equal sign up in this equation editor for Excel and build the same expression that I did on the calculator that justified the value earlier that I have on the Word document. So I'm not going to put numbers in here. I'm just going to put 30,000 times the APR of 0.04, which is going to be true for all of this column, divided by 12. And I want to divide all of that by the entire denominator. So here's where I'm going to have to use a few parentheses throughout the problem. So 1 minus, open parenthesis, 1 plus, same APR of 0.04 divided by 12. And I'm going to close that parenthesis and raise that to the negative NT power, again, where N is 12. And in this case, I'm going to use self-referencing for this cell 3. Okay, so I'm going to open, use a caret key for exponents, open a parenthesis, put the negative sign, and it's 12 times. And here's where I'm going to use cell referencing, where I click on the cell E7, and then close a parenthesis for the exponent and another one for the entire denominator. When I enter, it says there's an error. It wants the asterisk after the $30,000 to show. So if I click on that cell, I can go up here to the decimal decrease and keep clicking that until I get to 2 decimal place accuracy for the proper value, and click on the number symbol, and it denotes the value in dollars. Okay, so if I drag, this is the great part. If I hover to that box and get this white cross as it gets close to that solid square in the bottom right hand corner, the cross turns to a black cross, so that if I hold my left click down on my mouse and drag down, it'll automatically compute similar formulas here using this cell referencing and putting cell E8 in for the number of years, so that you can see that it makes sense that if you're going to pay it off in 3 years, the payments will be more expensive than if you pay it off in 4 and 5 years. Then you would just continue to do similar things for the remaining expressions. So if I was to grab all of this and copy it and paste, I click the enter button to paste that command back there, but click over here into the next cell, I can click up here and paste all of that and then just change it appropriately. Because now this is for 5.25%, so I have to change the 0.04 to 0.0525, and I'll have to change the 0.04 here also to 0.0525. But now the cell that I want to use for this is E7 for 3 years as well. So when I push enter, you'll see that again, I'll need to decrease the number of decimals until it gets down to 2 decimals, and I can include the money symbol. And it makes sense that it'll be a little bit more than this $885.72, instead $902.50 per month. And as I drag down, it'll automatically fill using E8 for 4 years in the computation, and then E9 for 5 years, so that the value goes down. You'll notice that that value, $569.58, is the same value that we computed earlier on the Word document. So just to finish this off, I would probably click in here and use the paste button again and change this to now 6.5%. So that's 0.065 for both of the old 4%. And again, use the proper cell referencing where I use E7 again for 3 years and decrease the decimals and insert the money symbol and then drag down for the other values. So just to kind of clean this up, I'd probably grab the entire grid and insert borders, and probably make this also have borders, but probably around all of those values, a thick border outside, and probably grab that and give it thick borders as well. And maybe even create a big border around all of it. And then I might grab all of those cells and copy it. I can certainly save this document, but if I copy this, oops, I wanted to go back to home and copy it. When I go back to my Word document, you notice if I come on down here and push enter and center justify this, I'll put Control V, or I can go into my home command and paste that, and that Excel file just slaps right into my Word document very nicely for formatting to justify my buy. So you can see how the $569.58 showed up in the chart. It does look like there's some formatting issues there where the rows look a little bit messed up. So I'd have to fill around a little bit with that, but you get the general idea. I probably would need to, I'm not quite sure how I'd have to fix those, but you get the general idea.